Oh, hello there. My name is Chris Fernandez. Today I'm just going to go give you a quick introduction to the Network Emulator 2. The Network Emulator 2 is an impairment device that we have, and it's a unique device that actually goes inline. So the application of this device is that you can put it in line between two links that you have, and you should be able to make some adjustments to the traffic that's running across. So both devices actually they do not have any idea of this device being in the network. So it's a pretty neat hardware. It Everything happens at FPGA, so it's very precise. It works really well. Um, and the way that it works is that there's a better functionality here. That there's many functionalities for this, but one of them that I always like to use is to see if a traffic is running across, right? So that's one of the basic functionalities that this can provide. It can provide as well packet capture and packet replay, and but usually we see most people using this device for impairment. So let's say I want to add some latency to a certain traffic that is going across your network or so on. So that's very easy to do. Let me try to summarize here what this device does and how is it set up here, so I can show you on a little demo that I have. So right now I have two ports on the network, on IX network, that's running traffic across. So I'm using ports 1 and 2 here on bank A. So you can think as on my scenario here of this port here, and this link is actually connected to port 1A here, and this link here is connected to port 2 on the same bank, on the same A bank here. The DUT, the network itself, this cloud here, as far as IX network is concerned, it doesn't know that there's any other equipment or device in the middle here. So all I did, I created two topologies here on the left side and right side, and they're just having IP addresses here, and they're just communicating to the other side. So they did the ARP, and I actually have a VLAN also across here to show some of the capabilities of the Network Emulator 2. And I created two traffic items. One of them, I can actually go here to stop the traffic so I can show you what I did. So I created two traffic items. One of them is very specific that I called the key traffic item, that has only one. Let me go into preview here, it's easier to do. So there is only one IP address, so it's a MAC address 05 to destination. The source address is 05 going to 05. It's VLAN ID 5. The source IP address is 101.0.5. Destination is 101.0.15. And inside of the packet itself, I actually created in the payload itself. If we take a look at the hacks here, I put a special payload that has bad babe in here inside the payload. So when we capture this packet here, we're gonna take a look at the packet. The packet looks something like this. It has MAC addresses, two MAC addresses, and then it has the VLAN ID 105, which is in here 69. And then you can see the packet inside the payload here is called, there's a bad babe here that I'm gonna try to filter this out, right? So the whole point of the test is that I'm creating two traffic items. One of them is very specific, which is the one that you see here on the screen, and another one is a generic one. This generic one here is just sending traffic from everybody to everybody, and it doesn't really have anything specific on the payload, right? So I'm sending this very specific traffic here at 2 frames per second, and this traffic here I'm sending at 20 packets per second, so 2 packets per second as well per IP address. So totally, so if I send this traffic here, you can see that I'm sending 2 packets per second per flow here that you see, and the 105 is the one that I'm using here that has that special payload that also has another flow here. That's what you see here. This is coming from the first traffic item. So you can see that everybody here is transmitting traffic at 2 frames per second and receiving at 2 frames per second, right? So when I'm talking about the Network Emulator 2, the Network Emulator 2 works in line. So to go into and work with X-Network, you need a browser, and you just browse and point to the IP address of the Network Emulator 2. So you can see here, my system is I'm using those ports here, and I'm using Ethernet Plus and at 1 gigabit per second speed. And my 2 ports that I'm using, port 1 and port 2, on bank A, right? So in order for me to first do anything or impairment to this traffic that I'm doing here, I need to create a filter. A filter is nothing but a way for me to get a specific flow, right? So you can see that all the flows here that I'm sending out have a specific VLAN IP address. It has a VLAN, has an IP address, has a MAC address. So the first example I'm going to show is to, let's pick up for example, if I want to pick up a let's say something that I don't have set up here, but let's say I want to pick up IP address of 100.109, right? So what I do that is through profiles, and I can add a profile to a port. So in this case here, I'm sending traffic from port 1 to port 2. So when you look at the default profile, this is a special profile that every port has, and this profile here tells me that I am receiving on that port 1, I'm receiving about 22 packets per second, right? So it's 20 packets per second for that regular flow, and plus 2 more packets per second for that specific flow that I'm going to be playing around with. So currently I have 22 packets per second coming into this port, and I know that this is working, and this is the default profile. You can think of the default profile as a catch-all. So if any profile above here did not pick up the traffic to do something with it, then this profile is going to be the one that is going to be the catch-all profile. So for me, in order for me to influence this traffic here, I'm going to create a filter. So in order to create a filter, I need to add a profile. So I'm going to add a profile here. It's just as simple as adding a profile, and it's created here. I'm going to give it a name. So I'm going to say pickup 100.1.0.9 traffic. Right, so I'm going to create that. I'm going to press enter, and I created this profile. This profile is on top of the default profile, but as you can see here, if I go to statistic, it doesn't mean anything because I haven't created anything yet. So I'm going to hit submit. The submit button here is going to be highlighted, saying that I changed something here and did not get done yet. So as you can see here, since this pickup profile has no filters, has nothing in there, he's kind of using as he's picking up all the traffic. So the default profile now has nothing, right? It's not picking anything up because this profile has a higher priority than default, and it's matching everything. So now I'm going to create a filter for this specific traffic here. So I'm going to go into filter rules here. And I'm going to create a rule, right? So in order to do that, I'm going to create a filter to filter that specific IPv4 address here. So I can do 2 things, right? I know that the traffic that's coming from 100.1.09 is coming from a specific MAC address, so I can actually match on the MAC address, or I can specify a VLAN ID. So I know that this here is using VLAN ID 109 based on the current traffic that I have. So I'm going to create traffic that would match that VLAN ID. So I'm going to do here a first tag, and I'm going to enable this filter, and I'm going to say VLAN ID 109. This here will allow me to now just pick up the traffic from that particular stream here, 109. So let's see if that's the case, right? So I'm going to hit submit, and the way I check if my filter is working is through statistics. So I'm expecting that the traffic now, this current here, should show me only 2 frames per second, which is picking up just this flow right here. So this flow right here, I'm picking up now on that particular filter. Everybody else is going to be going to the default profile. So now I'm expecting the default profile should have 20 packets per second. As you can see here, the default profile does not have a filter, so it just catches it all. So 20, because now the 109 traffic is now being picked up by the profile that's higher priority here. So now that I pick up that profile, what I can do, I can manipulate that traffic. So as soon as I have a profile that has filters and the statistics is running, you know, the statistics is picking up something, I know that I picked up the correct traffic. So now to make sure that I am doing what that I'm picking up, I can add another. If I add another filter here, this is gonna be a end. So for example, if I were going to put in IPv4 here, and I say COMMOV4, and I'm going to say it's 100.1.0. Let's say 10. If I put 10 here, what's going to happen is that the source address 100.1.0.10 plus the VLAN 109 does not exist. So he's going to stop this filtering this here, because this is an AND combination. It's not an OR. It's not this filter or this filter. Both have to be true for it to pick it up. So just to make sure that that's the case, I'm not. So this filter here is going to try to pick up something that it does not correspond to any traffic that I have. So this statistics now should go back to 0. I'm not picking anything up, and everything now should be going to this default filter here. All right, so that I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna fix this to 9. So now this here is correct. Now I should be picking up that particular stream again. So I can see here the 2 now is being correct. Now I'm picking up 2 frames per second, so I know my filter is running, right? So now that I have my filter working, I know the traffic that I'm getting it. I'm going to influence this traffic here. So the way I'm going to influence, let's say I'm going to look at the latency. So the latency for this traffic here right now is about 15,000 nanoseconds here. The average the average is 15,000 for this. So now I'm going to change that. So I'm going to go back to Network Emulator here, and now I'm going to create an impairment for that particular traffic that I did. So the traffic here is going to be the delay. I'm going to add a delay, and it's going to be a very constant delay. And I'm going to add, let's say, 500 nanoseconds. So, oh, sorry. Then usually it's only what I did wrong here. So let me just add 1 millisecond. I'm going to add 1 millisecond delay into that traffic here. I'm going to submit, and we can see now that this here, I'm expecting that this is going to change significantly. So now, as you can see here, I added that 1,000 on 1 millisecond. So this incremented my storing forward here by 1,000, right? So that's the max. And since those two here average, the average is going to keep incrementing. So, but if I stop the traffic and I start again, this is going to be reflecting 1 throughout here, so 1001 millisecond for that particular stream here. So basically this is how this works. So now 1000 is across this stream here, right? So that's pretty much how the Network Emulator 2 works in terms of adding a filter, adding a profile, adding a filter, and adding impairment, right? So now one interesting thing about this filter here is that I can filter in many aspects of the packet. Some of them is already predefined here. So you have MAC address, you have VLAN, first VLAN, second VLAN, IPv4 addresses as we used here, and you can also do custom. What custom does is the ability for you to look inside of the payload and actually match by payload inside of the packet. So I was suggesting here my packet that I'm sending from 105 to 115 has something in the payload that says bad babe here. And all I have to do is really create a filter for that. In order for me to create a filter, I can do a custom byte offset. And what I'm doing is creating this, and I'm adding this value. This mask means that I am looking for all the fields in that 4-byte packet here, and that value inside of the packet. So I'm looking for bad babe, exactly like that. I'm using masks as all zeros, and the offset is 66 off the layer 3. So looking at this packet itself here, what I'm saying is that after the layer 3, so layer 3 is going to start at offset 17 because it's going to be the 2 bytes for the 2 MAC addresses, right? So 6 plus 6, 12, plus you're going to have 4 more bytes of the VLAN. So that's going to give you 16. So the offset is actually 17. So that's when you start the layer 3. And after the layer 3, so this is 8100 here, and then the VLAN 105 here. Now you start layer 3 here after 17. So you start here, and bad babe is actually off the offset from the start all the way here is it's 83. So you do 83 minus 17 and you get to 66. That's how this offset is calculated here. So I'm saying at after layer 3 you do an offset of 63 of 66, and you get to the starting of that packet, and the value that I'm looking for is bad babe. So when I add this here to my filter, so I can just I created this before because I had to do all this calculation here, or kind of packet inspection here to see which field that I'm looking at. So I created this already here, and all I did here is just what I just showed you here. And now I can actually enable this. So when I enable this, profile here, and I'm going to hit submit, and now I can grab the statistics here, and I can see that 2 packet, the current I'm getting 2 packets per second here. So this is exactly this filter here, or this first traffic item here that I created specifically that has that payload for it. In order for me to show that, if I stop this here, this should be going down to 0, and the other ones, this one here, I can disable this one, and everybody else should be going here, which should be 20 packets per second now, because I stopped that first one. So I'm picking up that filter that has that stream that has the inside the payload the words or the hacks bad babe, and I'm filtering that out. So I'm not doing any impairments on it, so that's why there's really nothing happening here. But I just want to show you how you do the custom offset. So you can use those statistics and those filters here to grab information about your specific traffic that you want. So there's a profile statistics here, and all the packets gets accumulated here at the end. All right. So anyway, this is a quick intro of the Network Emulator 2. Working with Network Emulator 2 for you to filter out traffic that you want and adding impairments to it. The impairments, there is a lot to it that you can do. My suggestion is to go into our website and grab the user guide for the Network Emulator 2. And because that is going to give you a better idea of everything that you need that's going to happen. This here is one of the best interpretation of how the impairment works and the data path that the packets follow through when you're doing impairments. So as you can see, all the impairments and which impairment happens at each phase of when the packet is coming in and coming out. Okay, so anyway, I hope this video is helpful for you to get started with Network Emulator 2. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye.